All right. So let's take another look at the LMMS source code. Last time I looked a bit at the internals, and I also made a beat, which was not very good. I made it in a couple of minutes, and I didn't know what I was doing. And I think we can try to improve it this time around. But before we get to improving it, I wanted to look a little bit at the GUI source code. Actually, why don't we listen to the beat, and then we'll take a look at the source code. I'll go ahead and use my headphones again. All right, so here's the beat. It's not the... It's pretty glitchy. So I wanted to make something more mellow this time around. Yeah. All right, so let's take a look at the source code. I'm going to pull this, pull this down a bit. Okay, so we've got modals, menus, instruments, editors, clips, widgets, and various dialogues. I don't know why the dialogues are why they get their own, why they're not in a directory. So let's kind of open this up a little bit. Okay, so this is all C++ stuff. That's not surprising. We should be able to learn a little bit about the toolkit they're using. So QWidget, this I assume is Qt or Qt or however you pronounce it, QPainter. Okay. So I haven't used. I don't think I've ever used Qt. Faders, hit peak. So this is fader. So let's take a look at fader. Okay, so what do we got? We've got a Q widget that's a parent. So we're passing in a parent, we're passing in a model, whatever a float model is, and a string, which I guess is a name, maybe a name for the fader. If xtext float, Q pix map, fader background, fader LEDs, fader knob. So a pixel map, for the fader LEDs. So let's take a look at what the faders actually look like. Actually, where are they? Is this that's not a fader. That's more of a pot. So is this the fader? I guess that's a fader. And is this the string? Like this would be the master fader. So we've got a back. Fader background, fader LEDs, and a knob. Fader knob. Or is this the fader? Is this what it's calling a fader? So we have peak green, peak red, start value, persistent peak. Okay. So this, I think that this is it. Okay, so this would be the persistent peak, I guess, the thing that's going up and down. And then we're keeping track of, I guess, the peak red and the peak yellow and the peak green. Can I, let me see if I can move these windows. Actually, I'm going to stop this song. This is supremely distracting. Okay, so, all right, I think that this is a fader. Let me see if I can find the word master and see if it's a fader. I think maybe there's too many masters. Okay, that's okay. Let's see if there's a. Wait a minute. Okay, so this says hydrogen, copyright hydrogen. So this must have been copied from hydrogen, or forked from hydrogen somehow. I wonder how much of this was forked from hydrogen. So let's take a look. Let's search. So hydrogen import. I assume that's for importing hydrogen stuff. The fader. CPU load widget. And not a lot, it seems. Okay. All right. I was just curious. All right. Here's the tracks. Pattern track view, sample track view, track content widget, sample track. So I don't know what it, let's take a look what the fade button is. There's no real comments. Fade button. Implementation of fade button. All right. Oh, let's maybe let's take a look at fade button.h. Declaration of class fade. Okay. It's an abstract button. You can activate it once, and it's got some paint thing. Fade to color. Is it a button that fades, or is it like a fader button? I don't know. So let's go back. Pattern track view. Sample track view. Track view. Let's take a look at track view. I wonder what cute global is. I assume it's a just a way of defining a global variable. Q global. I don't know. We'll look at that later. Okay. So track view. Implementation of track view class. Okay, so create a new track view. The track view handles the actual display of the track, including displaying its various widgets and the track segments. Okay, but which one is the track? So if this is I guess this is a track, and these are the track segments. Let's have that hypothesis and then see what we find. The track to display, the track container view for us to be displayed in, and is my description of these properties correct? Oh, that's a to-do item. I don't know. I'm certainly not the one to answer that, because I've never seen this code before. Okay. Track operations widget, track settings widget, or track operations widget, track content widget. Okay. So we're going to, I think this is standard Qt stuff. So we're going to connect mtrack, signal destroyed track. I guess that's like a destructor. And when we, I guess this means something like we'll call destroyed track when close is called, or vice versa. We close when destroyed track is called. I don't know. So we're going to say, so we're also going to have this signal about clips. When we add a clip, something's going to happen with create clip view. Okay. We'll update when data changed. Or maybe we emit the signal data change on an update. And when mute changes, I guess we do similarly. Or when we toggle solo. Okay. All right. So color chooser. I guess you would need a color chooser for color coding your UI, maybe. File dialog. These are kind of like standard non-music-y stuff. Export project UI. Let's take a look at export project UI. Okay, so this is a .ui file, and it appears to be some flavor of XML. Q dialog. Okay. This kind of thing is somewhat familiar to me from earlier versions of Android. I don't know if they still use XML files. MIDI port menu, recent projects menu. So these are menus, and there are only 3 of them. There's the MIDI port menu, the recent projects menu, and the templates menu. But there seem to be other menus, right? These are all menus. For some reason, they're not displaying properly, but I do believe they're menus. Okay, so maybe the other menus are somewhere else. Tracks, widgets, menus, instrument editors, clips. So this was like tools. So where's the tools menu? Tool. Tools menu. Main window. Okay, it's in main window, I guess. So I guess let's look at this main window thing. So this is a pretty large file. This is a gigantic file. Okay, so this is, I guess, in the closest analog I have mentally, I guess, is Android development. So I'm wondering if this is a bit like having a giant main class where kind of everything happens. So here's the main menu, main window. There's a lot of auto. I guess that's fine. Because you know exactly what type this is. So you know that main widget is going to be a Q widget. Okay, so there's a lot of there's a bunch of conditional stuff, like if we're on Win32 or on Apple. Yeah, I guess like I would be afraid to add anything to this function because it seems like a bunch of the logic is just kind of here, and I don't know, like if I add something before load background, it might break stuff. So I wonder if that's a little bit on the brittle side. And then we've got this finalize method, and okay. So So let's I guess one thing we can check is like what is this so what are the tests for this function? I think that's a good question for a finalize function. Wait, how are there no matches? So at least this should match, right? because I just copied it. Does it not like the double colon? So let's just see if there's a test calling finalize anywhere. Okay. So maybe not, but there are tests, I believe. So let's take a let's detour from GUI and take a look at the tests. Okay, so we're testing core and tracks. Scripted. The checks in this directory are not C++ unit tests, but simple scripts that check the code for issues. Check strings, check namespace. I don't know. Class automatable model test. Q test suite. Let's look up Q test suite. So that I think this seemed to be part of Qt or Qt. Okay. So let's take a look at the unit. I guess these are unit tests, right? Relative paths, automatable model test, and project version test. Okay, so there's not a lot of tests, I guess. These are also, I guess, Q test suite things. I think, I don't know. Q verify. This is checking project versions, I guess. Relative paths. Making sure that the relative path logic is not doing anything funny, which is, it's easy to make errors with relative path stuff. Okay, so there are tests. Maybe main.cpp has, okay. But there's not it seems like maybe there's not a lot of tests. All right. Got it. Okay. All right, so what is this? Check strings. This looks like Python. Yep. Okay. In data locale. All right. Checks the code for namespace related issues. Oh, okay. So I guess they are. I guess these tests are trying to do like a version of what you might call static analysis. That's my guess. They're checking for things like namespace issues. All right. So here's GUI instrument stuff. Let's take a look at all these. String pair drag. LFO graph decay knob. Pre-delay knob. Huh. So it's funny stuff like, you know, I think Qt does a good job of this, and they've been around forever. But you know, you look at code like this, and it's almost declarative. It seems like it should be in some language where that has a more declarative style than C++. But I don't think really anyone's ever really figured it out how to do GUI programming the way that it seems like it should be done. All right, so this is a bunch of like looking at this. I'm not. So I know that there's buttons and knobs and stuff, and then down here I know that there's a bunch of logic that's kind of like wiring stuff together. Like I'm drawing lines and filling in rectangles and stuff, but I don't know like reading the code. I don't know how you would visualize this. So this is envelope and LFO view, paint event. So what is LFO? I think that's something synthesizer stuff. Let's look it up. Low frequency oscillator? Okay. All right, so this is I don't know how to get to this view. I wonder if I can figure it out. I don't know. Okay, well, let's move on. Okay, instrument function views. Instrument function note stacking view, instrument function note stacking view, chords group box, chords combo box. Top layout is QH box layout, add widget. ARP, what is ARP? Arpeggio. Instrument function arpeggio view. Let's see if this is something I can find. Arpeggio tool tutorial. You can have two LMMSs running simultaneously. Why would you want to do that? You may like to use notes you have in another project. Okay. I don't know what that is. Some sort of TLS issue, I guess. What? Let's see. I think this is a cert issue. Learn more. Cert bad domain. The certificate's only valid for LMMS.io, but I guess it's being used for EVS.LMMS.io. What if I... Okay, if I back that out, I get Nginx. Okay, I don't know what's up with that. All right, let's see if I can play around with this and find the arpeggio thingamajig. I've got draw mode, I've got edit mode, auto scrolling, enable, disable, loop points. After stopping, go back to begin. Okay. So I've got my project, my samples on the left here, my presets, my home, root directory. I've got this baseline editor and a sample track thingy. Okay, so I'll get rid of the sample track. And I'll get rid of, so I don't know what an automation track is, but I assume it's a way to add automation. Is this solo? What is red? Solo and mute, okay. So I don't think I've gotten closer to finding what arpeggio is. This is the drum machine / bass machine thing. And then if I click here, we get the piano roll. So, all right, so paste, copy, cut, quantize, pitch, bend. Okay. This rectangle I think is select. Yeah, there we go. Select, erase mode. Okay. Draw mode. Stop playing the current pattern. Record notes from a MIDI device while playing song or BB track. I don't know what a BB track is, but I assume if you plug in your like MIDI controller, that's the button you would click. Oh wait, no. Record notes while playing song. Oh, I see. I guess this one monitors the song maybe while you play your piano, and this one doesn't. Okay. So these give us the same windows that we already know about. This seems like it's just file dialog and tools. I don't know what's going on there. So there's actually, we've explored a lot of it. So we've got chords, scales, different scales, and what are they called? Modes. So what does setting the mode do? So that's still doing a chord. So let's take it off the chord. Oh, yeah, so what if I set a mode but not a chord? I'm not sure if anything changes. All right. Instrument plugins. Oh yeah, so I haven't looked at this. Let's take this Game Boy thing. So where do I put this? It doesn't go in the piano roll, I assume. I can put it here. And I get a piano roll again. And there's also this thing, which I guess is like I think this is part of the plugin stuff. Sounds great. Cool. I still don't think I'm closer to arpeggio mode. So let's try a little bit harder to see LMMS arpeggio. How many G's are in arpeggio? So I think that there's maybe a YouTube video or something.
Hello.
So this, so in triple oscillator. Okay, so it's like a thing in triple oscillator. I see. Okay, so that's cool. Maybe I'll look at the triple oscillator later. All right, so back to the GUI code. We have MIDI clip view, pattern clip viewing, sample. Let's look at sample. No. MIDI. Yeah, sure. Sample clip view. All right, so we're going to connect some signals to see. Let's look up what Qt Connect does. What are the signals and slots? I guess it's called. What I really want is the signature of the function. Okay, connect value change set value. We create two counter objects and connect the first object's value change signal to the second object's set value. So we say connect A and B. So A value change is connected to B set value. Okay, so that's the syntax. Get rid of this. I think we kind of looked at that already. Okay, so we're going to connect mclips signal sample change to this is update sample. So in mclips sample change, we're going to update. We're going to call update sample on this object, and this object is a sample clip view. But what does the signal macro do? I guess signal and slot are, let's see if we can find them. So, yeah, okay, they are macros. For define Q slots, define Q signals, slot A. They're only treated specially by the mock run. In the final compilation, they reduced to simple method declarations. Signal and slot create names from the provided signatures. Okay, it sounds like they do something relatively simple. All right. So we've got some drag and drop stuff, mouse press events. I mean, it's, mostly easy to read as far as logic goes. Okay, we've got some paint events. And it's like checking, I guess, if it's dirty. Set pen, and then this seems like it's doing like direct drawing. We're setting a pen, setting its color and a brush, and drawing some lines. And then there's some commented out code. Okay. Piano roll. Yeah, let's look at piano roll for sure. Ah, cute math. Application HBox layout painter. All right. Marked semitone color. Bar color. This is a lot of stuff. Okay, so the piano roll has a lot of dependencies. MIDI clip, current position, recording. We're going to do a bunch of connecting. A lot of Q actions. I don't know what a Q action is, but we can assume it's some action in the land of Qt. If you reset, we're going to go to default volume and default panning and clear ghost clip. That kind of sounds like a hack. Let's see, clear ghost clip. Set ghost MIDI clip to the null pointer and emit ghost clip set false and call update. And what's glue notes? If it has a valid MIDI clip, maybe ghost clip is if there's no valid MIDI clip. If it has a valid MIDI clip, node vector, blah, blah, blah. Add journal checkpoint. Glue notes failed. We have a note vector. Okay. I think this is the main thing. So we've got a while loop. Well, we're not at the, well, no, it's not the end. And the next node is not the end. Key and position match for glue. The notes are already sorted, so we don't need to test that the next node is the same position as the next in the sequence. If note key is equal to the next note key and the next note position is less than or equal to note position, then plus some offset, then we're going to do some stuff. We're going to set the length of note to something. We're going to take a max, I guess, of two values. One is the note length and some is some time position thingy. And then we're going to notes remove push back next note. So we're going to remove next note, I guess. And then we're going to increment the two pointers. And then we're going to remove old notes and call update. Well, I don't know what that did, but it did something. Fit note lengths. Okay. So, yeah. Are these notes real notes, or are they like visual display of notes? I guess maybe that's one question I have. But it seems like they're real notes because they have a key and a position. Constrain note length. Load marked semitones. Set current MIDI clip. All right, let's find out what else is going on with this ghost clip. Set ghost MIDI clip. Emit ghost clip. I'm not sure if it defines what a ghost clip is. Ghost note. Set ghost in piano roll. Detuned ghost. So lots of ghosts. There's more ghosts than I expected in this code base. There's a ghost choir, which is less unexpected, I guess. A piano keyboard to play notes on in the instrument plugin window. Okay. All right, I'm going to stop there.